convert the assimilated information into knowledge. It will be, see, again, the collection of the information also can be best done if the experiential methods of learning are imparted to the children and they are made to learn. Rather than being a one-way educative process, it has to be a two-way process. So the teacher teaches and the child learns, but how does the child learn better? When the child himself is doing it. When this factor is applied to the children, automatically the assessments, the marks, everything gets taken care of, because the level of comprehension is very, very high when the child does on his or her own. Now, as again Mr. Singh said, that the level of comprehension and reading has to be improved. I totally agree with it. Of English from the beginning are very important. NEP has stated that yes, mother tongue can be used to teach and make the child understand the language, but we understand the need for English in today's world. Wherever a children have to present something, they have to actually express themselves in a very well placed manner. For doing that, English is always the best available right now. So teaching the children in a mother tongue which has been given by NAP is very good up to a certain level. When the understanding of the child is, I mean, when the child doesn't understand English at all. So definitely I would say go ahead with that, because what is again the main vision or the main motto of education? It is to help the child understand. If the child cannot understand what is being taught, then the entire process goes waste. There is no meaning of doing it. So it is not to penalize the child on certain amounts, because if the child is not able to understand the language, the teacher is continuously speaking in English, the child doesn't understand the concepts, again that learning process gets deviated from the main track. The child does not learn anything, and we lose our vision, we lose our focus, the child loses his focus. Hence, yes, teaching in mother tongue up to a certain point is always good, but I feel that if we pull the children's limits, we pull them out of the comfort zones by exposing them to English language as far as reading, writing, listening, speaking is concerned, I think that will help them a lot, because most of the information available on the internet is through English. So reading and comprehension levels have to be very high. As per the PISA scores, all of us know and realize that our children and the entire children community or the student community is not very well versed with the reading and comprehension skills. When I test the reading scores or the reading levels of the students in my school, whether it is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, whatever class it is, they never match up to the score, or they never rise up to the level. Their level is always very poor. Hence, like periods like initiatives like reading periods in the school, reading awards in the school. Now, reading again can be done both ways. It can be in the mother tongue as well as it can be in English language. Because what are we aiming here? Again, I'll zero down in only to my one particular point of focus, and that is learning. If the child does not learn, we are wasting every precious time delivering our teaching to them. So we have to understand what is most important for this entire process. It is how the child learns, what the child learns, and what stays with him for a longer period of time, which gets converted into knowledge, education, skill based learning, anything. We can name it anything at all. So when I focus again on learning and the teaching learning process, then the next best step that the NEP has given us is the professional development of the teachers. Because even if I am here for a long period of time, there are many reading techniques, there are many other techniques which I'm not aware of. I need to come up with new techniques which are applicable as far as teaching children in the classrooms are concerned. So professional development is an excellent step taken by NEP. Many people have praised it, and yes, all praises are required, because I had read somewhere that the success of the education system in Finland is because they pick the only most intelligent, that is the top scoring students in the teacher training courses, and after that Again, they stress on 2 hours of professional development per week by the teacher, which is compulsory upon them. After putting this practice, putting this process in place for many years, Finland and things like countries like Japan have emerged as top countries in the education system. So definitely, I think we can learn a lot from them, and that is why somewhere professional development has come up. 50 hours has become compulsory from this very year itself. Then the teaching training program, which has changed from 2 years to 4 years. So teachers who are teaching and just trying to take the degree so that they can get the appropriate scale in the schools where they are working have to actually think twice about what they are trying to do, and they have to redefine their purpose of why they choose the profession. So finally, the teaching profession will be one of choice. It will not be one which is the last option available for the others. And the attitude and the mindset which these professionally developed educators will bring to the system will greatly enhance the teaching and learning process that is right now existent in our country. The other aspect that I want to talk about is the higher education system, wherein there is a system of like you pass 1 year and you get a degree, you get a certificate, you do 2 years, you get a diploma, you get 3 years graduation, and so on. Well, I firmly believe that whether it is slow, whether it is fast, education is the tool which is going to bring about the change. With this particular system being in place, I think there is more of an advantage wherein the children move away from probably learning more, studying more, which is required. That is my point of view. They might be tempted to go towards, see, why do the children drop out? What is the main reason of dropout in the higher education, especially? The main reason is they want to start earning. They want to be independent. They want to earn, grow rich, whatever. But whatever the other aims and this thing might be, the main focus, the basic is this only. Now again, with these type of courses coming in, what we will have is we will not have people who really want to pursue and go ahead in the field of whichever area of study that they want to, and they would like want to push away from there and go on towards their earning capabilities, or start earning, start living their life independently. Already this liberty and independence has been totally misread by the current generation. Most of the times it has been misread. That is what I have found. I may be wrong, and speakers out here correct me. But I feel this would not be really beneficial if we see long-term progress of the nation, or a long-term development of the nation in terms of um, scholars, in terms of people, in terms of knowledge gaining, in terms of wisdom, in terms of many other things. So I would not. I would like to conclude it briefly now by saying that once more, the somewhere that one vision which was required for how the child learns and what the child learns has been returned and brought back and put into place by NEP 2020, which is a very good move, a very warm welcome. There are challenges ahead to implement it. There will be roadblocks. There are uncomfortable zones for every one of us. But I think when we enter those zones and try to conquer, we will be able to give the education, the best education system to our very own country, and our motherland deserves it. So, Jai Hind, with that, I end my note. Thank you.
Thank you, Kesar ma'am, for this wonderful talk. You began by emphasizing upon the learning process. That learning process has to be a two-way process. You also talked about that mother tongue. Emphasis upon mother tongue is a very important intervention, but simultaneously we should not dilute the importance on language like English. We must focus on both sides. You also talked about the teacher learning process and the impact of NEP's intervention on it. You also found the importance intervention which this NEP is proposing in higher education, be it flexible entry exit part, and the kind of impact it can have in the coming years. And then in the end, you shared your assessment that NEP is making a very strong attempt, in fixing the right learning process for all of us. So it would eventually empower everyone. It would empower our learners. It would empower our teachers. So big thanks, Kesar ma'am, for sharing these important and valuable thoughts. I would come back to you with questions. Thank you, ma'am. And now I would invite the last speaker for this very special session, Nikita Kothari ma'am. Nikita ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much. A lot has been already spoken. We are here discussing NEP back to back, and every time, Rajul sir, I attend your session, I get to learn more and more. And being an educator, I feel, learning is an ongoing process. It will be we are all the time learners. And with that, change is the only constant. As our young nation strive towards the development and advancing our capabilities globally, it becomes imperative to take inspiration from our ancient heritage. Now, I would like to go back to our ancient heritage where we had this Gurukul system where the Rishi Muni would sit and all the kings and their children, they would come and they would learn, they would impart knowledge in that forest. And going through that forest, they would learn the plants, the medicine, and ranabhumi, whatever, So those tactics, and Guru Rishi Muni would teach all this thing. Now, just some time back, Madam told about Finland. So Finland, it says that it is the best education system, and within past few years, it has made revolution. And when we really go there and see and check out, we see they are using our Gurukul system. Why is that so? They are using experiential system, experiential learning, art integration. What does all this thing? The recently approved new education policy is a much needed guiding light to nurture our demographic potential. Many people time to time have made argument for a better education system in India. Very sorry to say, sir, but I'm very proud to say also that we have now, after 34 years of thinking, now is the time for the change. The British Raj had really deteriorated the Indian education system. After Macaulay's Minutes in 1935, the colonial government work in education was primarily to motivate and self-servicing concerns. That means they started with railways, they wanted clerks. They started with coal, they wanted clerks. So while Western education was spreading among Indians, scientific, technical, and moral education was largely ignored. Let me tell you, during that time, the Western education, which was spread among Indians, what happened? Scientific, technical, moral education was largely being ignored. The Indian reforms believed to keep up with time, a modern education system was needed. So during the Round Table Conference in 1931, Mahatma Gandhi, in one of his speeches, said, "The beautiful tree of education was cut down by you Britishers. Therefore, today is far more illiterate than it was 100 years ago." Baba Saheb Ambedkar also had opinion that everyone has the right to learn. Ambedkar sir even metaphorically compared education to the milk of a tigress and added that one who drinks it will ultimately strive for progressive changes in the society. Having said that, after independence, several steps were taken by successive governments to decolonize the education system. And after 34 years, let me tell you, after 34 years in 2020, this new education policy has come up with a revolutionary approach. President APJ Abdul Kalam had emphasized the need for value based education that instills righteousness at a young age to make a cultured citizens capable of transforming India into prosperous, peaceful, secure, and happy developed nation. NEP 2020 is an ambitious and futuristic policy where it gives focuses on second language. A lot has been spoken on second regional language. Usually what we see, there is a lot of dropout after 10th standard. Till 10th standard, children understand that what is Marathi. Suppose if I'm talking about Maharashtra or any other state, so they understand. For example, Udia, so they understand. But after 10, we emphasize more on English, and then they do not understand the language, and that is why there is lot of dropout. So with new NEP coming up, that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 and plus 4, where board exams or exams evaluations will be taken at pre-primary, bal anganwadi, that is meticulously following 5 years, that is pre-primary plus first and second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, then 9th to 12th. So this will really help with foundation, preparatory, middle and secondary stages. It will be more holistic development for children, 360-degree. The emphasis on skill like analysis, critical thinking, conceptual clarity, and co-curricular vocational subjects will diversify learning. Universal access to all levels of school education will be guaranteed. And it is proposed that around 2 crore children who will drop out will be brought back into the education system. The mandatory teaching of an Indian language will protect and promote our linguistic and cultural diversity. Yes, I do agree with sir that when the children are young, they have this linguistic ability. They can learn 3 languages and 4 languages at a time. In a diverse country, there are 196 languages. Imagine a country with 196 languages, and every 25 kilometers, the language, the dialects change. So the NEP emphasizes on local language, and that will address this concern. The implementation of the mother tongue based on multilingual education system will pave the way for addressing the pending demands of recognizing many languages like Rajasthani, Bhojpuri, Bhuti, and many other regional languages. The proposed reform in school curricula and pedagogy, there would be a transparent process for teacher recruitment, merit-based promotion, and development of national professional standards for teacher. Like, ma'am said that BEd, it is 2 years now. So yes, they will be properly trained for teaching. And I feel that it will be a task for us. We need to be trained properly to implement, and the years given also are perfectly all right. I think I'm very positive about it. And yes, ending on this note, back to you, Raju sir. I'm very positive about NEP 2020.
Kaji, yes, we have received. Yes, Jaswinder sir. Yes, please.
I'm sorry. I want to talk about, Nikita ma'am and Kesar ma'am. I suppose both of you are Gujaratis. Am I right? Right. So you
Sir,
both
मैं
of
Indian
you.
हूँ.
No, that no, my point is, as it is, you being in Maharashtra are already speaking 5 languages, 4 languages.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Am I right? Even Kesar ma'am, right? So if we are speaking 4 5 languages, the language formula will always be successful. We just
Exactly.
need to put into place. That's what I wanted to talk about. I too come from Gujarat. This thing. I speak 5 languages, so it is not a problem at all for our young kids. We just need to allow them, give them that platform. I'm sorry I barged in, but I wanted to make this point because language is not difficult. You don't learn a language, you acquire a language.
Exactly.
So that's what
Right.
we need to work on. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right. So you said like you speak 5 languages, sir. So English, Hindi, Gujarati, and Punjabi. Which is the fifth one?
Sir, Rajul sir, I speak Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Marwadi, I know Bengali, and I can understand little bit of Malayalam also.
Great, wonderful. So I
My
believe
fifth language
a
was
person
Tamil
like you.
because I'm married to a Tamilian. I'm
Oh,
sorry. That's what I missed
wonderful.
up. A Gujarati Tamilian who speaks better Tamil than Gujarati. So my wife is a Gujarati Tamilian. So
Oh,
that's the
wonderful.
whole thing. That's the fifth one. Yeah.
Great, great, wonderful. So big thanks, Nikita ma'am, wonderful thoughts, and big thanks all of you for your participation. With this, we come to the last part of the session, which is the question part. I would we have already received many questions. I'll start presenting these questions to all of you. But before that, I'll just take a minute. I would share my screen for a minute, and I would just share for a minute what exactly we have been doing at School Lalaji Solutions. Some of you are already aware with School Lalaji Solutions, we are India's largest one-stop solution platform for educational institutions. We are present in 42 cities, working with around 4,500 institutions. We help educational institutions in 3 ways. We help them in buying right thing from right people at right price. We also help them in selling their old stuff, like their old buses, generators. We also help institutions in raising money, that may be in terms of loans or fee finance. Why any educational institution would need a platform like School Lalaji? You already have your old suppliers, your team is expert, you believe you're getting good discount. Why you need a platform like School Lalaji? There are 2 important reasons. In our current educational ecosystem, we have more than 10,000 educational suppliers. Most of them are offering wonderful products and services. But how to reach out to the right, educational suppliers? So we come into picture here. We understand your school, your taste, your actual requirement, your budgetary limitation, and we have category experts who keep on talking to these different people. They also talk to their previous clients to certify their credibility, and accordingly, after doing that negotiation, we recommend you the right set of companies. These are different areas where we are helping educational suppliers, educational institutions like smart classroom procurement, uniform, insurance, diesel, solar plant, language lab, security solutions, furniture, recruitment, music classrooms, healthcare, robotics, STEM, STEAM labs, career counseling, stationery, digital marketing, IT solutions, educational tour, generators, learning tools, finance. And we take the guarantee that will save you at least 5 to 7% of your annual expenditure. It's kind of a 5% additional revenue generation. Just one example, we save 2 crore 40 lakh rupees for different schools in one category only, that's bus insurance. We are perhaps India's largest school bus insurance partner. So, some major highlights, we did 8 megawatt plus solar installation, 3,000 plus bus insurance, 400 plus smart classrooms, 2,000 plus cameras, 350 plus training programs, 56 old buses we sold from one school to other, and uniform in 42 schools. By the end of 2021, we aim to reach out to 10,000 institutions. We need your support, your guidance and blessings. So big thanks once again for this, your patient hearing. And now I would request Rita ma'am, if I may present the first question to you.
Yes.
Ma'am, in fact, you also have asked this question during the previous sessions as well. If you can
Raj sir, I'm unable to hear you.
Ma'am, this is for Rita Sen, ma'am.
Sorry, I think my network connection is a bit problematic. We have our board practicals going on. We are uploading the marks. Sorry.
Right. So this is for Rita ma'am. Ma'am, if you can summarize 2 or 3 key highlights.
I'm so sorry. I'm unable to hear you at all. My connection is very poor.
Rita ma'am, if you can share your perspective about our education system after this, what would be the major changes in our education system after the implementation of NEP? If you can share 2 or 3 key changes into our education system.
I didn't get the question. Once again, please.
The question is about the key changes this NEP would bring into our education system. If you can share what kind of educational institutions we would be having, let's say in 2040.
So it's a very, very speculative answer, because we are yet to understand and assimilate what NEP 2020 is all about. And here we are talking about what we will achieve. Well, a lot will depend on how we understand the concept of NEP and how we plan to implement it in our schools. It is only then that we can talk about results. But if NEP is adopted and implemented in letter and spirit, I think a lot will happen. First of all, it will put a lot of children into schools. because of this early childhood education policy, and which is a very, very big step towards making it truly global. Because in all countries, progressive countries, we've seen that children from a very young age start going to school. So that brings in the discipline of going to school, whether they are teaching them the 3 hours or whether they're just going and playing over there. It's a playway method, whatever may be the other things. But the very fact that it's a structured program, that they're going to school, is a very important step towards making our system at par with the global system. That's one thing. Then learning for all, as I always said, is a very, very important aspect. So if we implement those plans and policies, then again we can bring in a lot of more children to the classrooms. So I think our objective will be to spread the light of education to as many students in as many segments of society as possible. And if we can do that, I think we would have succeeded.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rita ma'am. I would come back to you for your concluding remark. And now I would request Mathura Prasad Pandey sir, sir, if you can have your response. I've already posted the question in the chat box. Rupa Lakshmi ji, who is a faculty with Genesis Global School, Noida. Pandey sir, do we have your quizzes?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Question, I have posted the question in the chat box, sir. How subject choice is going to help students for higher education and how university going to grade them? You know, this is about that flexibility in terms of choosing subjects, how it is going to help students.
Sir, it is really going to support the children to select the subject. Now, till now, what was happening that we have the only physics, chemistry, biology for JEE. Suppose they are going for the JEE engineering, and it was discipline was given, stream was given, biology, physics, chemistry, biology to become the doctor, and physics, chemistry, mathematics to become the engineer. But this NEP is going to play the major role where the selection of the subject would be interest based, because in all over the world requirement is there. It is not compulsory that you want to become the engineer so that you need to have mathematics, physics only. So, you know, there are interdiscipline like correlation also. So a child can select other subject also. So like, you know, biotechnology started. Now medical science is also going to be started in IIT colleges. MBBS, they can start in IIT colleges. So in future, what will happen, sir? Subject choice would be more for the children, and there would not be any like a restriction from the education department, and the selection could be more freely given to the children. So it's really going to play a major role to support them on the basis of interest. Subject selection can be done. So I feel this is going to play a good role, and the children would get the subject on the basis of their interest, and they can do much better in their life. This is what I feel.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pandey sir, for that. I would come back to you for your concluding remark. Now I would request Jaswinder sir. Sir, I have posted the question. Question, in fact, asked by Pandey sir only during the registration. The question says, how are we going to manage English by using mother tongue compulsory in elementary education? So this is the question from Mathura Prasad Pandey sir only.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Pandey sir, first of all, it is not compulsory to have local language as the thing. That is one point.
Very true.
Second point is, like I had earlier said, we should implement or introduce all the three languages at the same time. Kids in class 1 can acquire more than 1, 2, 3 languages. So what I would suggest is, earlier we used to have a higher level language and a lower level language. Now we should have same level language, all the language that we introduce to the kids. Now, sir, what I understand, sir, you are from Cuddalore, so you will have to have Tamil, right?
Correct, sir.
Okay. Second, you will have to have English.
Correct, sir.
Third, you see, you can choose for Hindi, because in the classical languages, both Tamil and Sanskrit have been categorized. So if you do not want to take Sanskrit, Tamil is again there. So you can go for Tamil, Hindi and English, same level, right from class 1, if not preschool.
Sir, I have already started. I have the three language concept in my school. I tell you from class one itself.
Ji sir.
One first language English, and the second language if Tamil, then third is Hindi.
Yeah.
And if second is Hindi, then third is Tamil.
Tamil,
So
yeah, yeah.
I have already started this one, but my question was not that, sir.
Okay.
Because first, second, third language. My question was only that if the mother tongue become the medium of the primary education and pre-primary education in elementary education, then the child will find difficulty. That is my question only.
Yes, sir, they will find difficulty.
That's my
So
point.
what you should do is, it should not be only one language that you start with. You start with 2 or 3 languages. Sir,
Hmm.
let me give you a simple example.
Correct, sir.
I'll take example because majority of us are Gujarati right now,
Hmm.
right? Okay. एक बच्चा if he is in Gujarat,
Hmm.
वो हिंदी भी बोलता है, वो गुजराती भी बोलता है,
बिल्कुल सही बात.
और इंग्लिश भी सीख ही सकता है.
हाँ.
So आपके केस के अंदर if you are introducing the mother tongue, at that same time do introduce English also, because if you introduce English, which is the second language, the so-called foreign, but it is not foreign language, if you introduce at a later stage, students will use that language which they are comfortable more often than English for communication. So if you give them access or give them all the 3 languages at the same time, they can switch between languages and take it up. Second, when you are talking about core subject math and science, let it be Hindi or Tamil. But when there are other subjects where more than concepts, it's information and knowledge, let it be in English. So that is how you can work on to that.
Sir, one thing I say, sir, already my school is pure English medium school, and English is considered as the oxygen in my school. I tell you, sir, because this is the pure English medium school, and the medium is English only.
Haan ji.
Even in LKG, we start talking in English. My question was just for general. I'm not facing problem in my school. This was
Okay.
my general question. In other school, when the child is learning subjects with the mother tongue, then his command over English would be less. In
Yes.
higher education, he'll be finding difficulty.
Yes.
Knowing English, knowing Gujarati, knowing Hindi, knowing Tamil, a person may know many languages, sir, but
Command.
he's going for higher education, there he finds difficulty because ultimately Google will understand mostly in English, right? Higher level, suppose a child is going abroad. In my case, sir, in Tamil Nadu, this with Kadlo, many are going to England, Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, USA. So, what is important? If the English is diluted in primary, that is my pain, sir. If English is diluted in primary, then the thinking level will be, diluted.
Sir, exactly what I'm
That
trying
is
to
my
say.
only point, sir. This is not
So,
only the Kadlur matter, sir.
General.
It I am talking about the general.
Yeah.
It's a good step, sir, to give the education to all the children of the country. Regional language is required. Of course, there is no doubt about it. But it should not be compulsory. It should not be mandatory. It can be like, choice. That's my point. Like there are some international school, public school, right? They can introduce the regional language as a second language, as a third language, but it should not be mandatory for them to introduce.
Sir, it is not mandatory.
Correct.
It is
That is
not
only
mandatory.
my point.
I'll give you example. Sir, there's a school in Delhi by the name of Sardar Patel Vidyalay.
Okay.
It is a high-end school. You will
Hmm.
be surprised to know that they teach everything in Hindi, but
Hmm.
their students' English is par excellence.
Good, sir.
What they do is they
Hmm.
have both the languages at the same level. So
Uh-huh.
some subjects in Hindi, the other subjects in English. So
Correct.
for them, it is not a problem. So what we need to do is we need not have a bias between the 2 languages.
Hmm.
If you're teaching mathematics and science where the concepts have to be understood, and if they can understand better in Tamil, let the other subjects be taught in English. Do not have a disparity saying that higher level Tamil and lower level English, or higher level Hindi, lower level English. No, both have to be higher level, because kids can acquire
Correct, sir.
and understand. So we should not differentiate both between the languages, and they can be used. See, language, I tell you, it is not that you acquire a language by studying that subject. You
Hmm.
acquire a language if you have that environment there. So let both the environments be there at the same time. That is what I would
Right.
propose.
Good approach, sir. Good. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, sir.
Thank you, Jaswinder sir, and thank you, Pandey sir, for that. I would request Neha ji, do we have your presence? Right. So, Rita ma'am, we have another question. I have posted the question in the chat box. So, if you can take on this question, Rita ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come to you, Neha ji. I'll come to you after this. Rita ma'am, if we have your presence.
Yes.
Rita ma'am. Yeah.
Yes.
Ma'am, the question in the chat box. So, Mr. Ashok Chand Thakurji, with the Man School, Delhi. NEP is a child-centric. Will the role of teachers be challenging, or it will become cumbersome? The role of teachers.
Role of teacher can never become cumbersome. A teacher will always be the most important person in this transaction of education. At best, the role of teacher will be one of a facilitator. The concept of learning has changed a lot. The teacher no longer stands on a pedestal delivering lectures to children. The teacher is with the children, learning and imparting knowledge along with them. She is more of a facilitator now. So the role of the teacher can never go wrong or can never be undermined. It will always remain very, very important in a classroom situation.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rita ma'am. So now I would request Neha ji, and this would be the last question of the day. Neha ji, how do you think the arrangement for vocational skills at a school level would be challenging for schools? Neha ji?
Yes. So vocational training is also important, considering the fact that all individuals in a country like India cannot afford higher education, and also there are individuals who are better skilled, especially in ways of doing things by hand, whether it's paintings or it's carving, or so in that sense vocational training should become a very integral part of school education, so that individuals, irrespective of their socioeconomic strata from which they come from, irrespective of whether because as an individual some people have better mental skills, some have better skills with hands. So vocational training helps to harness, or it helps to bring
No,
employment opportunities.
the question is
individuals with
different.
all kinds.
Neha ji, question is different. Question is not about the
Yes.
importance of vocational education. Question is about
Yes.
the challenge school would face in arranging infrastructure for vocational skills. Do you think it would be challenging for schools?
Rajuji, this is a question I think which will be better and explained by the school principals and school faculties. As of college faculty, I cannot really comment
Sir,
on
I
the
can answer
infrastructure
this
which is
question.
available in schools.
Right now. Right.
I
Yes,
can
yes,
answer
Pandey
this
sir.
question, sir.
Yes, Pandey sir.
Raju sir, may I?
Please, sir.
Sir, it's really a challenge to arrange the vocational training for the children from middle school, but it's a really good one, good step by NEP, because vocational introducing in middle school is like theory and practical together, and this has been given by the NEP that local whatever vocational is available, so that has to be introduced to the children in middle school itself, so that the concept like science concept, we have to correlate vocational training, then they will be introduced in the middle school, and then after that slowly they will come to the application part. They would learn many things like in public schools. This is really I have done it in Agrawal public school also, in like a Delhi college in Indore also, like one work experience is given, but no, this has been introduced in middle school in a right manner, so that the practical vocational skill also given to the child, and the child can take interest in any of the skill, and then he can develop. But the teachers and the school management would find definitely challenging to arrange the training for the children, to manage and the assessment also will become different. Then correlating the theory plus practical would be challenging. Again, assessment also. Then because timetable also, period also. Like in middle school, we have the English, Hindi, 3 languages, then mathematics, science, social science, plus computer is also there, then vocational. So definitely once or twice in a week period has to be given. But still, I feel that we need to discuss about this vocational in detail, and definitely we'll be talking to Saha sir to get the more input into it. And then we need to work into this area so that schools will not find difficulty, because arrangement is going to play a really big role into it, because the child has to do the practical in middle school itself. So it is really challenging to introduce the vocational course in class 6th. 9th onward, when they are understanding, their understanding level is good, there it is okay. But in middle school, the child nature is like childish, so challenges are more to handle the practical classes over there. So I feel this could be really required more input into it, and definitely will take some input from the Saha sir, director of this vocational department in CBSE, and sir also will guide us. So we'll take into that. But there are challenges, sir, I feel that.
Right, sir. Thank you, Pandey sir, for that, and big thanks once again to all the key participants, Rita ma'am, Kesar ma'am, Pandey sir, Nikita ma'am, Jaswindra sir, Neha ji, for your wonderful thoughts. With this, we come to the end of the session. But before we end the session, I would request all of you if we can have your concluding remark. And we have also established one very interesting practice, that while sharing your concluding remark, if you can also suggest one idea that you would like to implement as a priority if you get a chance to become Union Minister of Education. So what would be your
May I start, sir? May I start?
Yes, Pandey sir.
Sir, Union Minister, no, I want to be the Prime Minister of the country. That's all. If I become the Prime Minister of the country.
मुझे सर किसी ने बताया कि 15-20 साल तक वो जगह खाली नहीं होने वाली.
अरे राम रे, बड़ा कठिन बात सर.
ये 12 साल ये है, उसके बाद फिर 20-25 साल यूपी वाले आने वाले हैं, तो वो जगह तो बहुत मुश्किल है.
अच्छा, मुझे एजुकेशन मिनिस्ट्री तो दी जा सकती है
सर. वही तो दी जा रही है, तो आप उसमें क्या करेंगे? आपकी क्या प्रायोरिटी होगी?
बस बिल्कुल सही आपने कहा सर. मैं मेकाले सिस्टम को खत्म कर दूंगा. सबसे पहले जो हमारी थिंकिंग है, हमारे लोगों के जो दिमाग में चल रहा है कि मुझे सर्विस करना है, वो मैं खत्म कर दूंगा. सबसे पहले बच्चों के दिमाग में एक चीज लाने की जरूरत है कि मुझे उद्योगपति बनना है, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. आज हमारे दिमाग में सबसे बड़ा जो घर कर गया है कि एमए कर लिया, पीएचडी कर लिया, मुझे सर्विस करना है. ये थिंकिंग चेंज करने की जरूरत है साहब. बच्चे को स्ट्रांग बनाना है उसकी स्किल में, एप्लीकेशन में. अगर ये हर बच्चा इंडिया का स्किल्ड हो जाए तो देश सोने की चिड़िया बन जाएगा, और वो हम कर सकते हैं. एनईपी को सही ढंग से अगर हम इम्प्लीमेंट कर दे हर स्कूल में, हर आंगनवाड़ी में, प्राइमरी स्कूल में, like everywhere, 100% suppose we put into it, definitely it is going to be the challenge. And
sir, out of my personal curiosity, क्योंकि आपने बहुत important topic को touch किया, entrepreneurship development को लेके, out of my personal curiosity, Pandey sir, you have decades of experience, आप इतने सारे लोगों से मिलते हैं, you represent all of them. आपको अगर एक तरीका बताना चाहे कि ये करें तो इससे entrepreneurship promote हो सकती है, तो वो क्या चीज होगा? क्या वो नई डेवलपमेंट होगी जो आप कहेंगे कि ये करना चाहिए एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप प्रमोशन के लिए?
सर, सबसे बड़ी चीज क्या होना चाहिए, बच्चों के अंदर एक थिंकिंग स्किल डेवलप करना पड़ेगा. सबसे पहले सोचने की क्षमता, और वो कब होगी? हम बच्चों को इंस्पायर करें. हम बच्चों को, बेस्ट टीचर की जरूरत नहीं है सर, इंस्पायरिंग टीचर की जरूरत है. आज क्या होता है, हम बच्चों को रेडीमेड सब चीज दे देते हैं. रेडीमेड देने की जरूरत नहीं, उनकी थिंकिंग डेवलप करो, उनको इंस्पायर कर दो. We need to inspire every child. Once the teacher is inspiring the child, thinking will develop. Automatically, the outcome will come, and the child will become the intelligent. That we need to touch. We need to inspire the child. We need now India inspiring teacher, those who can inspire the child. We don't need the best teacher, sir. We need the inspiring teacher who can make the child thinking, right? Creative thinking can be developed, skilled thinking can be developed, right? Emotional thinking, social thinking. So inspiration, a teacher who can inspire the child, that teacher we want. And that teacher can be who can be really making this profession as a choice. Teachers now, what is happening, they are coming two people. One is by choice, like I have come by choice into this profession. Others by force, they won't get any job, they will not. First 21 years, I want to become the IAS officer. After that, they will reduce. After 30, nothing is getting, now let's become teacher. Why like this? So a person who is really making India better, interested to make the India better, sir, if we want to see the development of the country, we have to see the classroom teaching. Classroom teaching must
Right.
be improved. An inspiration where the child is skilled in the class. Every child is important. Every child of the country, whether he is
Right.
village or city, any place. Sir, we need to see that. If I am the minister, education minister, I'll make sure that all the government teacher, they go on time, they complete the task and teach the child properly, inspire the child.
तो अगले दिन स्ट्राइक कर देंगे फिर
अरे मुझे स्ट्राइक से कोई मतलब नहीं है सर, स्ट्राइक से तो उनकी सैलरी रोक दूंगा मैं, जो उनका प्रमोशन होगा।
स्ट्राइक लंबी हो जाएगी।
स्ट्राइक कर दो, दूसरे अपॉइंट कर लूंगा। ऑनलाइन आ गई सर, ये डिजिटल लर्निंग, ये कर दूंगा मैं, एक्सपर्ट बैठा दूंगा, सब कर दूंगा। अब ये नहीं डरना चाहिए सर, ऑनलाइन उससे नहीं डरना चाहिए।
थैंक यू पांडे सर, you spoke with your heart. आपने सारी बातें दिल से कही है ना। It appears like a passionate teacher जो आप हैं। So big thanks for your participation and for your remarks, Pandey sir. Thank you. Now I would request Jaswinder sir, if we can have your concluding remark, and what would be your priority if you get a chance to become Minister of Education?
Okay, concluding remark would be that this great policy needs to be handled properly. Plus, we need not worry about the mammoth-ness of this task. This is a lot of change, a lot of disruption, but can be managed if we implement it piece by piece. We need not rush into everything. Do small parts, break them into chunks, and achieve one. Second, not be hassled. Hoga, वक्त लगेगा, लेकिन ये चीज we will be able to achieve. We need not be hassled. Next is, this is just the beginning. Once we taste little success, automatically everybody will get into it. So that's for sure. So my concluding remark would be, go for it, dive deep into it, work through it, have trust in your policymakers. One. Second, about being the education minister, I've always proposed the the well-being of teachers. I have been a teacher all my life. I was an IT trainer. But what needs to be done is, like a moment back, Mathura Prasad sir said, that teachers should be by choice. When will we get teachers by choice? When we give them the right remuneration and give them the right respect. So
Correct.
I would want teachers to be the first-class citizens of this country.
Correct, sir.
Give them the respect.
Great,
give
sir.
them the right-
Great.
That's important, sir.
Very, very true, sir. Very true. Respect has to be given, money has to be given, everything has to be given.
Because we are the creators of the future of this country.
Correct, sir. Absolutely right.
How can you expect कि मैं तुम्हारा पेट भरने का आपको सिखाऊं और मैं खुद ना भरूं? No. Gone are those days that the teacher had to wear a khadi coat. No. So
Boss.
that's one point.
बहुत सही बात सर, बहुत
What
सही।
I have done, sir, just to make this possible, right? I have on a mission, a small mission, which is slowly gathering momentum. Rita ma'am, you're also there. I would want the other participants also. I don't know whether Nikita ma'am and Kesa ma'am are there, but I am on a small mission to actually do something, and I'm looking for your help. All I'm asking is, can you all please help me in achieving this? So let me just share a document. Okay, I'm sharing a document. I represent this company which is into language teaching, this thing, language solutions. So we have till date trained 25,000 teachers. I've met so many teachers in my life. It is about time that we recognize all educationists. A doctor can be identified when he writes a DR in front of his name. An engineer writes ER in front of his name. A chartered accountant writes CA. Why can't we educationists write an ED in front of our name? This is what I want to propose. I want to propose that we all recognize our own selves. Let the world know that I am a teacher. And if I get the respect that I demand, I will never do wrong. It is not that teachers, all of them are good enough. But the moment you get that respect, you automatically learn that I better behave like a teacher. Let me give my soul and my heart and my sweat to the well-being of my students. And that is what we were looking at. That please, Pandey sir, Rita ma'am, and the others, if you could write an ED in front of your name, and also ask your teachers to write an ED. Let's not wait for the government to do that. Second, what I would want to say is, I have, without your permission, I have just written it this way. Imagine if this could be taken up. How would you feel?
Sir, 100% agreed. Agreed,
So,
sir.
sir, आप करें, Rita ma'am, are you there? I would also request you. You are a very senior educationist.
Done, sir.
If done,
आज
you could have.
से चालू हो गया.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Great,
you.
sir.
So I conclude here. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Jaswinder sir. And before I go to Rita ma'am, I would request Neha ji, if we can have your concluding remark and what would be your priority if you get a chance to become Minister of Education. Neha Kasturia ji. Neha ji, do we have your presence? Now, I'll request Rita ma'am. Rita ma'am, if we can have your concluding remark and what would be your priority if you get a chance to become a Union Minister of Education, Rita ma'am.
Okay. It's well, my concluding remarks would be that it's true that we've come a long way. We have many more schools, many more classrooms, more children are enrolled, more uneducated, underprivileged sections of the society have started understanding the value of education. They're sending their kids to school and they're trying to make up for whatever they had lost in life. But the question is that even after 73, 74 years of independence, can we really ask ourselves and say that we have been able to provide quality education for all? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. It's a very, very big challenge, no doubt, because it requires completely new skill sets and a major, major change in attitude of all the stakeholders. There have been very concrete suggestions given in the NEP. So if it is followed in letter and spirit by all concerned, then we will definitely go a long way in providing quality education and making our schools truly inclusive.
Great.
As far as the education minister part of it is concerned, I think if I'm made the education minister, I'll be a very, very busy person because there will be so much to do. I'll leave no stone unturned to ensure that all schools, government, private, urban, rural, aided, unaided, they all follow inclusive policies. I'm very passionate about it. They all follow inclusive policies in theory and in practice, in letter and in spirit. Only then can we realize the dream that's been envisaged in the NEP for equitable and inclusive education, for learning for all. I will definitely fight for a higher budget allocation because it's a huge project and requires a lot of money. Otherwise, it will never see the light of day. It will remain only a piece of paper. I will ensure suitable infrastructure, physical as well as in terms of availability of technology. I will make qualified, trained special educator a compulsory factor in all schools. I will make sensitization programs for teachers and for peers absolutely a compulsory thing. The basics of special education must be made a part of all teacher training programs and syllabus, and there has to be continuous in-service training program for all teachers, not just special educators, on how to handle inclusion in the classroom. And all this will be monitored very closely on a regular, ongoing basis through an effective network of committed individuals. That's what I'll do.
Thank you, Rita ma'am. Big thanks for your wonderful remarks, and big thanks to all of you
Thank
once
you.
again. Once again for participating at this very special 149 session. A big thanks once again, Rita ma'am, Kesar ma'am, Pandey sir, Nikita ma'am, Jaswinder sir, Neha ma'am, for your participation and valuable inputs. We'll end the session here. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.